Which of the incarnations of Sherlock Holmes would you say is your favourite?
The Robert Downey Jr. one, that punches people with his mind. Sherlock Holmes is one of those fictional characters who's near instantaneously recognisable at a glance, due in part to his now iconic Deerstalker cap. A hat that pop culture would have you believe the great detective wore all the fucking time. However, according to the original short stories he appeared in, Sherlock Holmes never wore such a hat and wouldn't be caught dead in something that lame.
So Sherlock Holmes was never written to wear a Deerstalker cap?
No, in none of the original stories by Arthur Conan Doyle that Sherlock Holmes appears in, he is never once described as wearing a Deerstalker cap specifically. The closest you ever get is in a story called Silver Blaze, in which Watson describes Holmes as wearing his ear-flat travelling cap when they're sat on a train together and he's just sat idly observing what he's doing. And the fact that Watson makes note of it kind of suggests that it's not something like Holmes wore all the time. And even though that description does sound quite like a Deerstalker cap, it could very well be one of many other hats with those weird dangly ear flappy things.
Yeah, the image I get is that one that Kyle wears in South Park.
Well, the image I'm getting is those big Russian hats that people wear. Do you like the huge, big, fluffy Russian ones? I'm imagining that. And my image is cooler, so that's what you Photoshop in. You gotta do... Actually, no, let's let the audience decide. Photoshop Sherlock Holmes in Kyle's hat and then in a big, dumb Russia hat. And we'll see which one looks better.
Which version of Sherlock Holmes would you like?
Well, it's got to be the one everyone knows, hasn't it? It's got to be Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes.
So you want Cumberbatch in Kyle's hat and Cumberbatch...
Yeah. And then, just for a laugh, find one of those hats with a propeller on top and put me in one of them. So I just want to see what that looks like. Now we'll think about it, what would be the dumbest hat Sherlock Holmes could wear? Because we'll get into why the Deerstalker cap is not something Holmes would ever wear, according to his characterisation in the stories in a moment. But I'm just now thinking of him walking around wearing one of those hats with like the beer cans in the side. No, instead, because apparently in the books, Holmes is like a huge drug addict. He's just fucking drugs directly into his face.
He's just got them full of cocaine.
He's just constantly sniff. Instead of going into his mouth, he goes into his nose. And he just like, whenever he goes to investigate, he's in a big old sniff.
Now, imagine the Cat in the Hat. The one that's like really, really tall.
No.
Whenever he walks, it like wobbles side
No,
to
the
side.
Doug Dimmadome hat. That one. You know, you can put the clip in. Everyone knows who Doug Dimmadome is. He's got the largest, most white Stetson you've ever seen. It reaches the heavens. So this man cannot walk through doors, but that's okay because he looks that swag.
It's like when you see the royal wedding and they always turn up with the biggest hat.
Well, we've got to talk about the Cthulhu hat, haven't we? I don't know which one of the royals it was, but at one of the royal weddings, I think it was William and Kate. Can we call her Kate? Is it Kate Middleton? Because that sounds a bit off for a royal. Kate. It's like Princess Kate from the council estate down in Leeds. Well, I don't know, but at the wedding of William and Kate, there was like this one woman who wore this weird hat that looked like Cthulhu-esque, like the giant flying spaghetti monster, just stuck on her forehead. And it became like this huge-ass meme where people like, you cannot question the power of this woman. She's like the first member of the Cthulhu Church. She's here to summon the Dark One. He doesn't like it.
If you were going to a pie like that, though, you would wear a stupid hat.
Why not? Yeah, it's like when people go to the horse races and stuff, isn't it? You've got to wear the dumbest hat possible and the loudest possible suit. And I love all stuff like royal weddings, but my favourite thing to come out of a royal wedding recently was a picture of the Queen stood on a checkerboard floor, and it's just her stood right on like the black square or something, and the warning below says, warning, she can move in any direction.
So it's never mentioned that that is a hat he wears.
No.
But why would it be a problem if he did wear it?
Because in all of the stories in which Holmes's fashion sense is described in any manner, he's described as being an acutely, fashion-conscious individual who struts the streets of London like they are like cobbled human shit-covered catwalks. In fact, that guy was styling and or profiling a majority of the time he spent awake.
So why would it be a problem that he wore a Deerstalker specifically? Like, is that not a fashionable hat?
Not really, no, because the name suggests a Deerstalker cap is something you wear while hunting, outdoors, in the countryside, not in the city when you're doing detective work. And Holmes being described as a fashion-conscious individual wouldn't commit such a heinous faux pas. And there's a knowing nod to this in the Benedict Cumberbatch series, where he wears a Deerstalker cap in one episode to sneak out of a theatre, a load of press catch a picture of it, and then say, oh no, Holmes wears this hat all the time because he's weird, and he gets really pissed off about it. Because no, it's a stupid hat, you don't wear it walking around London, that's not what people do.
Yeah, it becomes a running joke, I think.
Yeah, people could say, I almost recognise, but where's the hat? Yeah. And he gets pissed off about it. Because the people writing that show did do some research and found out, well, Holmes never wore a hat like this. Let's just put something in there for, Sherlock Holmes fans. Like, yeah, we know he didn't wear the hat. Holmes knows he didn't wear the hat, but no one else does.
It's a fantastic way to get in a little reference without distorting the image of the character that the fans have.
Yes, because that's the image everyone has in their head of Sherlock Holmes is the guy in the Deerstalker cap.
Yeah.
And that's because of one guy who didn't know how to draw Holmes.
They did a similar thing with Watson and his moustache, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because he never had one until one of the seasons where he grew one for a few episodes, just so that you got... I think it was one episode, actually. It was when, after Reichenbach, when Holmes returned and said, "I don't like your moustache," so you shaved it off.
Shaved it off immediately. Who's got that? Who takes that much stock of what their mate says? That's like... Isn't he married in that season?
Yeah, he's married, but no, I think it's after his wife then reveals she also doesn't like it.
Oh, no!
Because Holmes says, "Oh, I don't like it," and then Watson says, "Well, yeah, but my wife does," and his wife goes, and then Holmes goes, "No, she doesn't."
Why is everyone dunking on like Watson's moustache? That's not fair. Like, he must have took ages to groom and meticulously maintain that, and then this dickhead boss comes back and goes, "I don't like it." So, I better shave it then. You fucking better, mate. So, oh man. You know what? Stop dunking on his moustache, man. He tried real hard. That's not fair.
To be fair, I've worked in a place where we were told not to have facial hair.
Yeah, that's because you worked in a fucking restaurant with a grill. They didn't want fucking moustache hairs landing in people's tacos.
You weren't even allowed to wear a snood.
No one gives a fuck, right? He's out there solving mysteries. And if you're solving mysteries and you're wearing a big ass moustache, I trust that man more. The moustache adds 10 charisma.
Do you reckon the moustache is part of the job description because he needs to twirl it as he's thinking?
Well, yes. Yes, it is. That's why do you think he doesn't have a beard? Because obviously he'd rub it all off with all the chin stroking he's got to do. Fucking, do you know nothing about detective work?
I have evidently don't.
There we go. Do your research, man. I did. As an aside, for anyone curious about how Holmes is described, his outfits are rarely, if ever, commented upon unless he's in disguise. He is, however, described by Watson in the books as always being meticulously well-groomed, which is hardly a lot to go on for actors wanting to portray the detective on screen.
What about his physical appearance, though?
Holmes is generally described as being a serious-looking man with grey eyes, black hair, and a hooked, crooked nose. And his other distinguishing feature, if you can call it that, is that he's a little over 6 feet tall, which, again, not really a lot to go on for an actor playing him on stage. And a lot of people who were, putting on Sherlock Holmes plays were acutely aware of the fact that most people reading the books, even if, they read these descriptions, would have their own image of what Holmes looked like in their mind. Not to mention that all the drawings back then were in black and white, so everybody had grey eyes and black hair. So again, it's like, well, fuck me. How do we make this guy stand out on stage? This all changed, though, when an artist called Sidney Paget came onto the scene and drew this image.
So is that the first appearance of the Deerstalker?
Yes, as far as we know. That is the first appearance of the Deerstalker in regards to Sherlock Holmes wearing it.
So why did Paget draw that image?
It's because that image was supposed to go alongside the story of the Buscombe Valley Mystery, in which Sherlock Holmes goes to the countryside. And Paget thought to himself, well, what would he wear in the countryside? Well, make him wear a Deerstalker cap. That's what people wear when they're out there. Also make him wear an Inverness cape, or the Inverness Pimp Cape, to give it its full title. And the rest is history, because, that image ended up being so widely disseminated that Paget decided to make it Holmes's standard attire for whenever he had to go outside of London to solve a crime. And because that was the most popular image of Holmes, other artists commissioned to draw Sherlock Holmes ate Paget's drawings and also drew Sherlock Holmes wearing the Deerstalker cap, sometimes when he wasn't outside of London because they didn't realise why Paget did it, and so on and so on and so on. So eventually that became the defining image of the character, which made it nice when, obviously, they started putting on plays of Sherlock Holmes and they could make him wear the hat.
So it appeared in a bunch of artworks.
Yes.
But what cemented that look in the minds of the people reading or watching plays or films?
That was an actor called William Gillette who wore a Deerstalker cap while portraying Holmes on stage. And nobody's really quite sure why he decided to wear the Deerstalker cap, but the leading theory is that he wanted Holmes to be immediately recognisable from a distance whenever he appeared on stage, and the hat was a good way to do that. And that's the reason he also adopted the really large, comically curved pipe, because in all the stories, Holmes is described as smoking a straight pipe. But Gillette had one and found it really difficult to say his lines. So he said, "Oh, get me a curved pipe so I can just have that hanging out my mouth and deliver my lines at the same time." And that image became the de facto one of Sherlock Holmes in the mind of the public. And obviously anyone else put on a play after that wore the same outfit because, well, that's what Sherlock Holmes looks like, even though in the books he doesn't fucking look like that. And the rest, as they say, is history. And Sherlock Holmes is now, forever going to be stuck wearing that stupid fucking hat he doesn't like. Sorry, dude, but you're not real and we are, so we tell you what to do.
So in the books, is it not particularly defined how he dresses, like, at all?
No, Sherlock Holmes is quite like a nebulously defined character, which is why I think the stories were so popular, because obviously he can be whatever you want him to be. Like, save for the few occasions where he's in costume or disguise, like what he looks like is never really described or talked about. So you can make Sherlock Holmes whatever the fuck you want in your mind. Because the only real thing we have to go on is meticulously well-groomed and immaculately dressed. I'm now imagining him just walking around like someone out of RuPaul's Drag Race. Because we have that scene, don't we, in the Robert Downey Jr. movies where he dresses like a woman and he absolutely fucking canes it. And he's walking and he owns that look. He's got the proper catwalk swagger as he does it. So I'm just imagining now that every day Holmes is walking about, he put on a more flamboyant and ridiculous outfit. Because you know what? He knows no one's going to question it because I'm Sherlock fucking Holmes. And also, as we discussed in another video, he was rock fucking solid. Like, Sherlock Holmes is like a master martial artist in the original books and is strong enough to like bend a steel poker with minimal effort and completely straighten it out after a guy 3 times his size, like, you know, forcibly bends it all up like in two, like in a fit of rage. So I'm just now imagining how just Sherlock Holmes just pimp walking down the street. Like, he is Saints Row 1-esque pimp walking everywhere with the cane like that. There's just 2 shots ahead, he starts blaring in the background. Oh, man.
What other outfits do you think... It's got to be something super colourful. I was going to say a pimp outfit, but I think that's too obvious.
No, but the thing is, the pimp outfit is such a strong fucking look. Because he does wear an Inverness cape in one story, I believe. And that's a cape. If a man's wearing a cape, he's pretty close to being... That could be a pimp cape. All you need to do is just line fur around the edge and you're sorted. Yeah, he needs to be wearing like a Squall-esque jacket from Final Fantasy VIII, like the Flex jacket. Like, do you know, have you heard the story about this?
I haven't, no.
In Final Fantasy VIII, which obviously came out after Final Fantasy VII, if you put like a screenshot of the games side by side, you'll see that there was a massive graphical leap between those 2 games, even though they're on the same console. And one of the things they did with the main character Squall is they gave him a jacket with fur around the collar, because they were told, you can't do that. It's impossible. There's no way you can make like fur look realistic on his jacket during the CG cutscenes. And one of the guys in charge went, no, fuck you, we can make the fur bigger. And they made the collar even bigger because they were told they can't. So I call it the flex jacket because it's there purely as a flex on people said you can't do this.
So you want Sherlock Holmes in that jacket?
I want him in that jacket. I fucking like... What? Go on, let's go. Favourite jacket from fiction? Because I fucking love Squall's jacket.
Favourite jacket?
And I'm going to put out there as well, Trunks' jacket. Because it's like, Trunks' jacket, right? I think he was the first time I've ever seen a character wear the jacket that just comes up to here. And that's like a thing now, is it the denim jacket where it doesn't go all the way down your back and you wear a longer shirt underneath. The Trunks jacket, man. Or, I think I'm going to say like Dante's jacket from Devil May Cry series. But I know I'm not cool enough to pull that off. Because you need to have just like untold amounts of swagger to pull off a floor-length red leather jacket. Yeah, it's like Neo's jacket, isn't it? No one can pull off the look of a long black leather duster, even though it's such a strong fucking look. It's like when I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I made Arthur Morgan wear like the full-length leather duster, and I'm like, that looks so fucking cool, but I will never, ever pull that look off, because you need to be a grizzled, like, cowboy, who's just willing to beat someone the fuck down to pull that shit off.
One that I would like is like the pilot's jacket. It's like the leather one with the sort of fur.
The bomber
the
jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, the Captain Marvel jacket, man. Then you can, when you wear it, like the mohawk appears. Oh, there's so many good jackets in fiction. You thought it was a stupid question. So you're like, oh god, wait. There are so many cool ass jackets. Like even in just certain games. Like Devil May Cry Nero's jacket's super cool. And did you hear that they did that for Devil May Cry 5? There was a $5,000 special edition where you got one of the jackets of the main characters.
It wasn't like Fallout though, was it? You actually got the jacket.
No, you actually got the jacket.
You didn't get a plastic representation of it.
Yeah, can you imagine that? No, apparently the jacket was like movie standard. It's like, this is what we'd use on like, if we made a Devil May Cry movie, this is what they'd put the main actor in. That's how fucking good quality this coat is.
Are these things still selling?
No. There's one I forgot though, and I can't believe I've done it. Leon Kennedy's jacket in Resident Evil 4. The jacket that's so good, it is in all the promotional material, and he loses it in the first hour of the game.
Really?
Yeah, and what they did is they put in like an extra mode. It's like separate ways where you play as Ada Wong, and you find the guy who steals his jacket. And Ada, you shoot him and you get a special little like bonus bit. He goes, isn't that Leon's jacket? Which means his jacket is so cool, a zombie stole it.
I thought you were going to say then that it was like people were so annoyed that the jacket disappeared in the first hour. They put in like a DLC where someone else picks it up where he left it off.
No, they do.
And walks around. Does she wear it though?
No, a zombie picks it up, or a Ganado, before anyone complains, like, picks it up and wears it because they think it looks baller too.
Do you reckon it just gets passed down the line of zombies? In like 100 years' time, there'll be like the Lord Zombie will be wearing.
And I think in Resident Evil 6, they knew like that Leon Kennedy is now a fashion icon. So they actually released, again, a special edition where you could get Leon's jacket. And they put so much tech into his jacket, it's unreal. Oh my God, you've not even said any of your favourite jackets, and I've just been naming jackets all day.
I mean, I said the one with the pilot's one with the...
Yeah, what specifically though? There's many pilots in fiction. Which is your favourite?
I don't know. I just got mental image of that. I knew someone who had a jacket like that.
Are you going to say Michael Keaton's in Homecoming when he's dressed as the Vulture? Because that's a strong.
Oh, that is pretty good jacket.
That's so. I bet that's so warm as well. But I'm going to say like Leon Kennedy. Which one do you want to own though? 'Cause I always flip flop between getting like Leon Kennedy's or getting a Trunks jacket. But I know I'd never pull the Trunks one off. But the Leon Kennedy, that's just a stylish ass jacket, man. That's just a shearling coat. I could pull that off. But I don't think I could pull off the Trunks one, especially with the big capsule coat thing on the back. And I was, oh, what a nerd. Look at that weeb over there. It's like, no, it's just cool. It's cool, damn it.
I saw a jacket on sale online, which was basically like a replica of the Assassin's outfits from Assassin's Creed. And when you put the hood up, it has a little point on it.
See, they're lame as fuck. No one's going to pull that off. But I reckon I could pull off Leon Kennedy's jacket. It's just a nice-ass jacket. People come to go, where the fuck did you get that? Because you have no idea. I had to travel to Japan. I had to get in a Japanese XXXL so it'd fit me.
You know a good jacket?
What's that?
The one that Danny Zuko wears in Greece.
That is a strong one.
But fine leather.
But that's just like a good leather jacket.
Doesn't he have something on the back though?
Yeah. It's like, oh no, you couldn't do that. I was get a tunnel snake's jacket. Be a tunnel snake, man. Who's going to stop the tunnel snakes?